Later on, I'm going to take a look at the new Italian League selection on eFootball. I've already done the English and Spanish League reviews. Those are live on the channel already if you want to check them out. But this one, as always, I'll put timestamps in the description. So if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click in the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So, again, we've got 11 players in here, all 5 stars. We'll start with the goalie. We've got Zion Suzuki. So, Suzuki is at Parma. Of course, he's got a face scan because he's Japanese. Let's have a look at eFootball Hub. Let's see how good this guy is. So, max him out, fully boosted. He's kind of meh. He's alright, but he's not brilliant. There's been a previous version in a... it was in a pack, a Japanese national team pack. I think it was one of those ones with a few legend cards in it. There's one in one of those packs, which was better than this one. It went 1 or 2 higher. And this one, to be honest, yeah, like I say, it's a bit meh. It's not bad, but the best goalkeeping attribute he's got is 88 for awareness. That is pretty good, but it's not amazing. Catching and parrying a little bit dodgy. Reflex is 86. It's not brilliant. Reach at 85. Meh, he's 6'3", just about. So his reach should be okay, but I'd rather it's good than okay. Great jumping, but yeah, he's not a brilliant goalkeeper. If we have a look at where his points are allocated, they always put 4 on jumping. If we nick them back, we don't need those. He's already got very good jumping. You think can we get the reflexes a bit better? It's an 86, and as we know with some of these attributes, for some reason the number 87 doesn't exist. So if we put 1 on there, it'll go straight from 86 to 88. 1 point left, stick it back on aerial. Boom. I'll do that. So you just take a little bit off his jumping. I don't think you're going to notice that, but you get the reflexes up from 86 to 88. So personally, if I get this card, that's what I would do. It would be a usable goalkeeper, but I think, to be honest, when I say usable, it would mainly be usable for if you have a Japanese national team squad, or for the Italian League Challenge. When the Italian League Challenge pops up, you might find you don't have any goalkeepers on form, so it could be useful for that when he gets form. But yeah, outside of that, I think if you're new to the game and you really need goalkeeper options, it could be useful for now, but most people who've had the game a while have got better goalkeeper options, so I wouldn't say it's a bad card, but it's not a particularly interesting one either. It's not great, but it could be worse, I guess. Next we have Matteo Pašalić from Atalanta. So we've got a whole player, attacking mid, can play centre mid, defensive mid as well. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. Is he any good? So first off, compared to previous versions, there was one in a one as legend or possibly a Showtime pack, which was quite similar to this one, but that one had the interception skill. This one doesn't. We'll check out what skills he does have in a moment. And there's also one in a Croatia national team pack, I think it was, which is quite similar. Been a couple of Player of the Week cards of this guy, but they weren't particularly good. This is better than those were. Looking at his skills, as I mentioned, not a lot going on here. So cut behind and turn, okay. Hill trick, nice one to have. One touch pass, through passing, those are the 2 key ones he's got. Low lofted pass, that's quite a nice one, but one touch pass and through passing, and he's got a decent passing attribute. So he's got some good passing. No shooting skills though. Finishing at 75 might not be bad, but it's not brilliant. So if you're putting skills in this guy, I would look at shooting skills first. Maybe his first time shot, long range shooting, maybe long range curler. But in terms of the attributes, yeah, technically quite strong. You know, he's tidy on the ball. He's got good passing. Attacking wise, he's pretty good. It's over 80. He's a whole player, so he's going to be making attacking runs at every opportunity. But athletically, yeah, not brilliant. He's not the quickest. He does have some physical contact. He doesn't have great balance though. He's about 6'2" at 188 centimeters, so he's quite tall. I don't think he's going to feel too comfortable on the ball. Yes, he's got some decent attributes on the ball, but he's not going to be the most responsive. Would I change much in terms of how the points are allocated? It'd be nice to get to the 90 mark for passing. If we nick a couple from there, nudge the passing up a bit. We take 1 of shooting there, we've got enough to go too high on his lower body, so we get a little bit more speed and kicking power on him. I'd maybe just do that. It's only a slight tweak. There's an attacking mid, I think that's probably a bit better, but you're still going to notice the slight lack of pace and balance, and then the fact that he's quite tall. So if you don't mind that, if you're more focused on the technical attributes and being able to pick a pass, and he's 2-footed as well, worth mentioning. Yeah, if you like the qualities he's got, then he could be a decent one as an attacking mid for you. But if you prefer your attacking mids to be a bit more maneuverable, a bit more nimble and responsive, he might not be for you really. If we did more of an all-round build, see if we could use him as a centre mid. If we take away some of the attacking stuff, free up as many points as we can, take all that shooting away, take a bit of that away. Where do we end up? Hang on a minute. We need stamina. Got his physical contact up to 80. Bunch of defending. So, yeah, it's more of an all-round build. I don't know. Technically still pretty tidy. But defensively, even with a bunch of points thrown on there, tackling 71, no thank you. Bit more pace about him, but we've lost a bit of acceleration really. So yeah, bit of a trade-off, bit more physical strength, bit more stamina. But ultimately for me, it's not a great card as a centre mid. I'd rather pay a bit of GP, and there's GP players you can pick up that are just as good as this. So yeah, not brilliant as a centre mid. As an attacking mid, whether you go auto allocation or with the build I gave him, I think he could be useful if his strengths suit you and you don't mind the fact he's a bit lacking in pace and manoeuvrability. But ultimately for me, it's not the most exciting card. It's not one I'd be looking to get on one of these paid packs. It's certainly not a bad card. It's just not a particularly brilliant one. Next up, we have a big man, and we have a very big man. Lorenzo Lucca, target man. Doesn't have a face scan yet. I imagine we'll get one at some point. 201 centimeters. This guy is tall. Inconsistent form, bit of a bummer, but let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this guy? So this is the first featured version we've had of Lucca. So if you've been waiting for one, you'll be very pleased. If you compare him to his GP card, he only goes one higher overall. So on the face of it, you might think, well, it's not much of an upgrade, but he does have a bunch more points on awareness, heading, jumping, balance, those 4 attributes especially. So maybe he's only one better overall, but he has had a significant increase in a bunch of very important attributes. So it is a decent upgrade, to be fair. And yeah, it's pretty obvious where the strengths lie. He's got fantastic attacking awareness. On the ball, he's not brilliant. He's a target man. He's very tall. You kind of expect that. Not brilliant passing, but could be worse. Finishing decent at 86, could be better. Heading 84, jumping 81, physical 85. Does he have aerial superiority as well? He does. So we've got heading and aerial superiority. How tall is he? 6'7", is that? I think that's 6'7". This guy's massive. He's got jumping over 80, physical 85, heading 84, heading and aerial superiority. He's going to be a monster in the air. He's got first time shot as well, which is an important one. One touch pass helps. Not the quickest, but for a big tall guy, 6'7", that's not bad pace. And to be fair, the balance of 79 is not bad as well for a guy of his build. So yeah, he kind of looks alright, to be honest. Would I do much with the way the points are allocated? Probably. It'd be nice to get that finishing up. What would we do? We can nick a couple from here, or just one. We'll leave the attacking awareness at 90. Get that dribbling up 1, maybe. What are we doing here? Let's take away some pace. He doesn't need that much pace. If you're a target man, it's not going to make that much difference losing a bit of speed, because a target man's not going to move around too much. He's just going to kind of loiter around and just wait for you to lump crosses and long balls towards him. So let's get that shooting up to 90. Can we get it up to 90? We need one more point. Damn it. We can nick one from aerial. No, we'll nick one from speed. Another one from speed. Boom. So you can get his awareness and his finishing both to 90. Not much has changed elsewhere. That's essentially a trade-off of speed for a bit more finishing. If he's a target man, like I say, I think that's worth it. I don't think you'll really notice the reduction in speed, but having that finishing up to 90 I think is worth it. So that's one thing you could do with this guy. And then great in the air, awareness and finishing. You're basically just going to supply this guy, whether it's a cross, a long ball forward, or even a ball into his feet in the area. He's going to score goals for you for fun, potentially. So you could do that. And if you really want to focus just fully on his aerial ability, you just want to forget everything else, what could we do? If we take a few points back from finishing, see how many points we can free up, take all the dribbling away. He's going to be horrible on the ball, but again, I don't know how much difference that will make. We'll keep the awareness at 90, I think. Take all his speed away. We can get his physical contact up to 90. In fact, we can get his heading up to 90. What have we got left? I'll tell you what, I'm going to put a couple back on his dribbling, and I'm pretty sure just 3 on our old trusty old friend goalkeeper 1 is going to get his jumping up to 90. Naughty build. So 6'7" I make it. 90 jumping, 91 physical contact, 90 heading and aerial superiority. Awareness 90, finishing 88. Yes, he's horrible on the ball. He's not the quickest, but as a target man, for what he's good at, if you just supply this guy with aerial supplies, put crosses in, long balls in, he's going to be phenomenal in the air, and he's got the finishing, and he's going to pop up in the right place at the right time with that attacking awareness. So if you just want to focus on what this guy's really good at and just be very careful when you get on the ball with him, that could be a pretty naughty build. So a couple of ways you could use this guy. He's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You know, if you don't use big target men, you don't put crosses in, you're probably not going to have any interest in this guy. But if you do play that way and you do like a striker like this guy could actually be pretty fun. Next we have Pessina from Monza. So again, we have a whole player. He's got a face scan this time. Same positions as Pašalić. Attacking mid, centre mid, defensive mid. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this guy? So again, all right, but not too exciting looking. We've had a previous one from a Serie pack. That one had unwavering form. It's kind of some attributes a bit better, some a bit worse. Not only did he have unwavering form, that one, but he also had a slightly stronger, weaker foot. So this is probably a bit of a downgrade from that one, all things considered. Skill-wise, this one's been given penalty specialist. So that's one thing this one's got over the previous one. But yeah, all things considered, it's a bit of a slight downgrade on the previous version if you got that one. But we've still got some decent skills here. Heel trick's nice, first time shot. He is a whole player, so he's going to be getting forward quite a bit. One touch pass, weighted pass would be nice if he had through passing. That's the first skill I'd look to put in this guy, certainly if I play him as an attacking mid. Captaincy is nice. Super sub, we've got a super sub. Yeah, you do the through passing, and if you're going to use this guy as a centre mid or defensive mid, definitely needs interception as well, crucial one. But yeah, it's a question of how you use him. As a centre mid, as a kind of all-rounder, I'm a little bit put off by that tackling 73, but can we spare enough points from elsewhere? Can we round him out a bit? I don't think he needs that much on passing, so let's just nick a few from passing. We'll see what we can do with him. 3 points left. I'll just stick one aerial. Yeah. Is he good as a centre midfielder? He's alright. I would like a bit more balance on him. I would like his defence to be a bit better, especially the tackling. Apart from that, he's decent enough, but he needs through passing and interception as a centre mid. If you give him through passing and interception as a centre mid, an attack-minded centre mid, because he's a whole player, remember, it could be decent, but I think decent's about as generous as I could be. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a good card. If that's as good as you can make his defences with his defending skill, defending attributes going up to 8, I wouldn't even think about making him defensive mid. He's not going to be strong enough there. As an attacking mid, if he took away all the points in defending, yoink. Could we make him a decent attacking mid? Let's have a look. See if we can get his ball control to 90 at least. His acceleration up to 80, we've got 5 points left. We'll put 3 on shooting, 1 more on dexterity. Yeah, he's not bad as an attacking mid. On the ball, tidy. Passing, good. Finishing, it's not brilliant, but it could be worse. It's decent enough. He does have first time shot, which is good. I would give him long range shooting as well. Attacking awareness is good at 84. On a whole player attacking midfielder, 84 attacking awareness is good. Pace is decent enough on an attacking mid. Kicking power's alright. Physical contact on an attacking mid is decent. Balance I'd like to be a bit higher. It's quite tall, 6'1.5", I think that is, 187 centimeters. So not quite as awkward as Pašalić will probably feel, but he's not going to feel too fluid, too manoeuvrable. I'd like a bit more balance. Stamina's decent. But yeah, attacking mid, I think on the whole, he's a decent one. He would need through passing. I'd probably give him long range curler, long range shooting. And I would give him outside curler as well because he's one-footed. So outside curler I think would be very helpful. But yeah, decent. Another one where, you know, like I've said with one or two of the packs I've just recently reviewed, we're starting with the lowest rated ones, so I'm not going to get to the particularly good ones just yet, but this is an alright one. If you do get this one as an attacking mid, I think he could be a decent one. Needs 1 or 2 skills, could certainly do a job, but again, it's not an amazing card, so it's not one I'd be desperate to get if I spam this pack. And so now we have Sam Beukema. I hope I've said that right. He has a face scan. build-up centre-back. Plays for Bologna in Italy. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this guy? So he's decent. He's not amazing, but I don't see any glaring weakness here. We have had a version of him previously that was in one of those legend boxes. Pretty similar overall. This one's a little bit better down the left-hand side with these on-the-ball attributes. The ball control and the passing a bit better than that one, but that one had slightly more on some defensive and physical attributes. And also, that one had blocker instead of sliding tackle, interestingly. So that's one slight downgrade from that previous version. There was also a Player of the Week version of this guy back when he was at RZ in the Netherlands, but that was pretty rubbish, to be frank. So yeah, if you got the previous trainable one that was in one of those legend boxes, I think you've probably got a slightly better one on the whole, but pretty similar to this. Just really the blocker skill is the main difference. But you can put skills on these, obviously. And yeah, to be quite honest, I don't know if I would do too much with the way he's been built. You know, it'd be nice if we could nudge up these two ones, the 89s here, engagement and tackling, if we could nudge them up to 90. But I wouldn't want to spare any from his physicals. And we've only got 4 points in each of his lower body and his dexterity there, speed and acceleration. So the points aren't really there to put on the defending. If you really wanted to do that, I think it would have to be dexterity and lower body. Maybe nick 2 off each of those, and you can nudge the defending up. Is it worth doing that? Maybe. I guess that's up to you. I think he's okay down the right hand side. He's not quick, but he's not slow either. It's kind of average pace for a centre back, really. Physically, reasonably strong. 6'2", 85 jumping. He does have aerial superiority, so he'll be strong enough in the air. Yeah, he's an alright centre back, really. Heading and aerial superiority, interception, man marking, acrobatic clearance, sliding tackle. I think the one skill he really needs is blocker. You might want to put fighting spirit on him as well. The technicals there, alright for a centre back. Technicals, the defensive ones down the middle, pretty strong. We've obviously nudged a couple of them up to the 90 mark. Not the quickest, but I think you can get away with that, certainly on the build-up. Just depends on your play style, really. If you've got a high defensive line, that might be a bit slow for you. And like I say, the aerial and physicals are decent enough, so it's not an amazing one. I don't think he's going to be going into too many people's teams if you've got a lot of defensive options, centre-back options, but you could certainly do worse than him. And again, it might be one of these cards where if you spin this pack and you get him, maybe he doesn't go straight in your team, but there's an option for the Italian League Challenge. When that pops up, could be worth keeping if only for that. It's certainly not a bad centre-back card. It's not one of the top-level ones. It's not an amazing one, but there aren't too many real weaknesses here. And certainly if you gave him blocker, I think you could have a pretty decent centre-back in your hands. He's very usable. Now we have Matteo Guendouzi. So I got a version of this guy from a nominating contract pack, I think it was. So he's a box-to-box, centre-mid or defensive mid. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. Is he any good? He's fairly decent, again. We've had a few versions of Guendouzi on the game. So there's one, like as I mentioned, in the nominating contract pack, which I've got, and one in a France pack, both of which were very similar to this overall. A few attributes slightly higher, a few slightly lower. There was one in a legend box that was a bit better than this. But yeah, and the skill-wise, the one in the nominating contract pack and the one in the legend pack had track back. This one doesn't. And the one in the France pack had long range curler and rising shots. Interestingly, I think we can live without those on a box-to-box centre mid though. But what he does have, this one, soul control is a nice one on centre mid, long range shooting, and then one touch pass and weighted pass. Through passing would be very nice. Man marking and interception, that's good defensively. Captaincy and fighting spirit, nice ones to have. Yeah, I think the one skill you need in this guy is through passing. If you give him through passing, he's got a pretty good selection for a centre mid box to box. In terms of the attributes, will I change much? I think it's worth tweaking a little bit. There are a few here that are just a little bit shy of the 80 mark. It would be nice if we can maybe get one or two of those a bit higher. But he's decent, you know. He's technically sound enough on the ball. He's certainly not a dribbler by any means. But he can control the ball. He can certainly pass. Defensively, I'd like that tackling to be at the 80 mark. We'll see what we can do with that in a second. But he could be worse. He's kind of okay defensively. Average pace, not the quickest. Decent enough kicking power. Bit of physical contact. Balance, again, is not quite at the 80 mark. It could be worse, but I'd like a bit more in there. Great stamina, though. So, yeah, what can we tweak here? It would be a shame to take the passing below 90, but we can take one away from there. That gives us 3 points. Gets balance up to 80. Nice. I think we can sacrifice a bit of speed. And we still beat the 80 mark for kicking power and 92 for stamina. And then only 3 points to get his physical contact up to 80. Have we got enough left? We have, look. Boom. We get those 2 defenses up to the 80 mark. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, I think that's a nicer build, definitely. Sacrificed a little bit of pace, but he wasn't the quickest. I don't think he really noticed that. We nudged his acceleration up anyways, so still kind of average pace. Still got kicking power at the 80 mark and stamina over 90, but physical contact's up to 80, bounces up to 80, defensive engagement and tackling up to 80. He's very aggressive. On the ball still tidy, and the passing still at 90 there. I think that's what I would do. That's a pretty similar build to what I've got on mine. He's been alright, to be honest. I've not used him too much, but I've used him in the Italian League Challenge a few times. I use a double pivot. I like my 2 players in my double pivot to be all-rounders, to kind of get up and down a bit and just do a bit of everything. And he's done that for me. He's been pretty effective. So, yeah, he's not an amazing one by any means, but certainly as an option as a box-to-box centre mid or defensive mid, he could do a job for you. And again, for the Italian League Challenge, it might be worth keeping, even if just for that, to give you an option when that pops up if he has form. So, yeah, not an amazing card by any means, and there was a slightly better one in one of those legend boxes, but based on my experience and the way he looks here, he's a solid one. I would just give him through passing, and then you could have a very usable centre mid in your hands. Next up, we've got Cambiaso from Juventus. So we've got an attacking fullback. He can play both sides. He's fairly two-footed, inconsistent form, no, bit of a shame. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. So he's rapid. He's got great stamina. Everything else is kind of okay-ish. We've had a previous version of him that was pretty similar overall. That was in one of those legend boxes. Some attributes a bit higher, some a bit lower, but pretty much the same level overall, really. He kind of looks alright, but with fullbacks, it's the same deal every time. They always put loads on their speed, and that means that there's points to spare that you can put elsewhere. If you would want to do that, you can do that. I'll do that in a moment. If you just would rather focus on the speed and have someone just with crazy pace at fullback, you could just go with the auto allocation. He could probably do a job for you, but I don't know. Physical contact's decent. I'd like a bit more balance. I'd like a bit more on these technicals, these defensive attributes, especially tackling. On the ball, kind of borderline. I'd like a bit more. I would certainly like the ball control to hit 80. And then passing, likewise, I like these to hit 80 if possible. So he's kind of okay-ish around here. We look down the skills. Through passing and pinpoint crossing are good going forward. Long throw, nah. Sliding tackle, the only defensive skill we've got. So this is the one real issue with this guy. He needs some defensive skills. If you get this guy, you plan to use him. Interception will be crucial. You might want to put 1 or 2 more defenses beyond that as well. Maybe he's man marking, acrobatic clearance, blocker. But interception is an absolute must for me. That's the most important one. He's lacking that. So if you don't just want to focus on the pace, and if you'd prefer to have a more kind of well-rounded build like I always like to do, I think you know where I'm taking the points from. I'll take 4 from there. I'll leave his kicking power at 80 for now. What do we want to do? We want to get his tackling up. Can we get up to 80? Yes. Bit more on the ball. We've run out of points already. Can we nick some dexterity? It doesn't need that much acceleration. If we really wanted to, it'd take a lot of points, but yeah, we can do that. We can get all his defensives 80 plus. We can get his physical contact up to 80. We've improved him a little bit on the ball. Still got really good pace there. The acceleration we've lost a bit, but speed at 94 still. Stamina at 91. That's an interesting build. I think if you gave this guy interception and played him as a fullback, he could be pretty decent. I don't think it'd be bad at all. So yeah, he's a left footer, so naturally a left back. Fairly two-footed though. You could use him as a right back. Not an amazing one, but again, it's decent enough. I think he's very usable if you gave him 1 or 2 skills, starting with interception. So yeah, not a bad card. He can play left mid and right mid. Could you make him a winger? If we take all these defensive points away, yoink. That gives us 36 points to play with. Maybe we can make him a winger. We'll just lump a load onto his passing and dribbling. Give him some more balance as well. 2 points left. Where they going? Stick on shooting, whatever. Could you make him a winger? Maybe. Certainly rapid. We've made him better on the ball and with his passing and crossing. He's got pinpoint crossing, so yeah, you could get away with him. As a left footer, I think with the skills he's currently got, I would play him on the left as an old school winger. Left footer on the left flank, getting crosses in. 88 lofted pass and pinpoint crossing. He'll have a decent cross on him. He's not got great curl, and his kicking power's not outstanding, so he won't have an amazing cross, but it'll be decent enough with 88 lofted and pinpoint crossing. So yeah, as an old school left winger, you could train him in that way. It could be useful. Again, not amazing, but it could certainly do a job for you in that way. Right wing, I mean, if you gave him long-range curler, so you're cutting onto his left foot, maybes, but his finishing isn't great. You might just be putting crosses in on the right, bearing in mind he's quite two-footed. So yeah, as a winger, I think probably primarily as a left winger, old school left winger, getting crosses in could be useful. As a fullback, like I say, with the build I just did, I think it looks pretty decent. Again, not amazing, but very usable. But you would need interception. So if you gave him interception, primarily as a fullback, this card could be a pretty useful one. Not an amazing one, but pretty useful. And now we have Morata from AC Milan. So another goal poacher version. He is usually a poacher. Unwavering form. Don't know if I agree with that, but that's a good thing, I guess. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. Is this a good version of Morata? It's all right. We've had quite a few versions of him. We've had a Showtime version of Morata. We've also had one in a nominating contract pack recently, that 100 cap one. Those two are the best versions we've had of him. Outside of those two, this is a pretty good version of him. So not the best, but pretty good still. He's had one Fox in the Box. It was the Player of the Week card. I've actually got that card. It's pretty decent. All the rest have been goal poachers, so that's his regular playing style. He didn't play like a poacher on Sunday in the Milan derby. He's more like a deep line forward, but yeah. So we've got a goal poacher version, and it's pretty good statistically, but would we do much with the attributes? I mean, I would like a bit more speed on a poacher. I always say that. If you really want to make the most of the fact he's going to be constantly running in behind the defence. Finishing is just one shy of 90. I think we can probably nudge that up to 90. Where do we get the points, though? That's the question. I don't want to take anything from on the ball there. I like him having at least 50 on ball control, and I certainly wouldn't want to lose anything from 71 for tight possession. That's dodgy. As a tall guy, not a great deal of balance. Tight possession 71. Yeah, be careful when you're on the ball with this guy. Passing's pretty average for a striker. It's not great. The finishing is pretty good at 89. I will try and nudge that up a bit. Heading 86, jumping 80. Again, I wouldn't really want to lose any points from this. I'm not taking any from aerial. I think it's dexterity. I think if he's not got particularly good balance as it is, you might not notice taking some of that away. It'd be a shame to lose some acceleration, but if we do gain some speed from it and nudge his finishing up, let's just see if we can do something there. So if we take 4 from there, just leave his balance as 70. Nudge our finishing up to 90. Can we get more pace on him? Yes, we can. That leaves a point. Stick on passing. In fact, I'll stick that on... Yeah, I'll stick it on passing. Yeah, I think that probably suits him a little bit better as a goal poacher. So we've lost a little bit of acceleration there, but we've gained a bit of speed. We've gained a bit of kicking power, which you'll probably notice. That is important with his shooting. We left the jumping at 80, but that finishing's been nudged up to 90. Still over 90 awareness. I'd probably do that. It's not a massive change from the auto allocation, but I think that suits his playing style a little bit better. Looking at the skills, we get pretty much what we expect from Morata. So we've got the first time shot, acrobatic finishing, heading, got long range curler, one touch pass is nice, track back, and he's a super sub as well, as he often is. So yeah, this is a good card. I don't think it's an amazing one. He's not going to feel brilliant on the ball, but he's got a bit of pace about him, more pace on him, since we've just tweaked the way his points are allocated. He's decent in the air. 6'2", almost 6'3". Bit of a jump on him, good heading. Got the heading skill and acrobatic finishing, so it'd be decent from crosses, even if he won't be amazing from crosses. And the awareness and finishing, that's obviously what he's best at. Getting into the right place at the right time. You supply this guy in the box, he will take chances for you. So yeah, as a poacher, not amazing, not a top level striker for me, but it's a good card. One thing I would say, if you're looking for a good version of Morata, yes, it's one of the better ones. We have had a couple of better ones, but if it's the only card in this pack that you want, the fact he's now at AC Milan, who are a partner club, there are likely to be more versions of this guy, and I'm fully expecting there'll be some partner club packs at some point, as there were last year. One of those ones where you get 11 players and the manager, so there's a good chance if we do get one of those packs, they will be in that as well. But even if he's not, there will be more versions of him, I believe, at least 1 or 2 over the course of the season. So yeah, there may well be better versions of him, but this is a good one. It's not an amazing one, but it's a good one. He's certainly going to score goals, and if you like a striker with this kind of a profile, he can certainly do worse. It's a pretty good card. And now we have Paulo Dybala. So, a creative playmaker Dybala. He has unwavering form now. I'm sure he was inconsistent for a while. Not sure if I would agree he's unwavering, but that is a positive. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. Is this a good version of Dybala? So, got some real qualities there, as you can see. Fantastic on the ball. 99 ball control with auto allocation. Crikey. We have had 1 or 2 legend versions of Dybala. We've had a Showtime as well. Those are better than this one, but outside of those, this is certainly one of the better ones. It's a pretty good version of Dybala. Got a few positions, so you can play him as a number 10, AMF or SS. You can play him wide right. You can play him as a centre forward as well. As a centre forward, let's just start with centre forward. So if we took everything away except the shooting and dexterity, can we get him 90 on his finishing and his awareness? Yes. What does that leave us? 10. 4 on dribbling. Give him some speed. So, yeah, I don't know. You could get away with him as a centre forward. He wouldn't have a great deal of pace. He'll be playing without an active playing style because creative playmaker will not be active as centre forward. It will be in his other 3 positions, but as a centre forward without an active playing style, a bit of a lack of pace, but decent acceleration, very good balance. He'll be quite responsive, good kicking power, decent kicking power. Very nice in the ball for a striker. Awareness and finishing at 90. Passing decent for a striker. Fantastic at set pieces. Looking down the skills, he's got the skills for centre forward as well. So we've got first time shot, and then we got long range curler as well. Got a few skill moves for the dribblers, chip shots, heel trick, outside curler's nice as well. Yeah, decent skills. So you could get away with this guy as a centre forward. If you don't mind a centre forward having a lack of pace, you'd probably use him as a kind of similar to a deep line forward in a way, I guess, really. Just based on the fact he's not got a lot of speed and he'll be pretty tidy technically. If he suits you with this kind of a profile, with these attributes, that could work for you. He's got centre forward as a position, but if you wanted to use him more the way that he tends to be in real life and like that registered position, which is SS, you can take a load away from shooting, not so important. Just take that down to, we'll take it down to 80. Passing back up to 80. In fact, let's do more of a number 10 build. We'll do an attacking mid build, so we can get him up to 88 low pass. I mean, to be honest, can we get to 90? No, we need 4 more points. We just do that, and we've got 3 points left. Oh, we'll just go 89. It's a shame to be just shy of 90, but yeah, you could make him an AMF. Again, not the quickest, but great balance. Very, very tidy on the ball. Attacking awareness of 90 is fantastic on an attacking mid. Passing, nice, but you would need to give him 1 touch pass and through passing. So if you do plan to use this guy as a number 10, or even if you plan to use him as an SS, but just use him to kind of, as a playmaker, which he is with that playing style. If you're going to make use of his passing, 1 touch pass and through passing, I think are very important skills to give him. But the finishing at 80 with first time shot down there, long range curler, it's going to have a nice shot on him. I'd maybe give him long range shooting as well, to be fair. So yeah, in that kind of number 10 role, could certainly do a job there, but to give him 1 more build to try and use him, see if we can use him as a wide right player. We certainly need a bit more pace for that. So passing, not so important out wide. We'll go all the way back down to 4 on passing. So we're still at 80 for low pass. That's fine out wide. Let's just shovel that straight onto speed. So we can get up to 82 speed. In fact, if we just gave him 80 speed, because he's not going to be electric either way, and that can get his dribbling up. Ooh, just 1 shy of 90 for dribbling. Can we? Can we somehow? You could nick 1 off speed, but then you're going below 80. Do you want to do that? You could take 1 off speed and do it. You could maybe take 3 off passing, to be honest. If you don't think passing is too important out wide, I'm not sure it is. Maybe do that. You could do something like that. So you make him a bit quicker. Still not electric pace, but still got good acceleration. The kicking power's over 90 now, though. On the ball, we're back to pretty much close to the auto allocation. 96 ball control is outstanding. 90 dribbling type possession. 90 attacking awareness. Virtually nothing added to his passing, but out wide, I think you can get away with that, certainly. And then the finishing 80, curl 88, kicking power 91 is long range curler. And he does have the long range curler skill. His long range curler should be decent coming off that right flank. So, yeah. That could be a decent build as a wide forward on the right. So a few builds you could use on this guy. He's got unwavering form. He's not always had that previously. Decent selection of skills. I think whatever position you're putting him in, I would give him 1 touch pass and through passing. I'll maybe give him long range shooting as well. But as far as the Dybala cards go, this is a good one. It's not the best. The Legend and Showtime ones have been the best ones, but it's a pretty good one. You've got a few positions that you could use him in there. And I think, to be honest, whether it's centrally or to the right, just off the attack, I would put a bit more on his speed and then just play around. You can focus on the on-the-ball attributes, give him a bit more passing, whatever you do. Could be a very useful card. He's usually a pretty nice player to have in this game. So yeah, a few ways you can use it, and it's a pretty good version of Dybala. And now we have a rare featured version of Lautaro Martínez. Just kidding, we've had about 30. So, goal poacher, as he often is. We've had a few different ones though. We've had a few Fox in the boxes. Unwavering form, of course. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. And it's a pretty decent version of him. So, again, like with Dybala, we've had Showtime and Legend versions of Lautaro in the past, which are better than this. But this is pretty much up there with the better versions outside of those. It's a good version of Lautaro. But again, similar to Morata, he's got the goal poacher playing style. He's going to be looking to get him behind the defence at every opportunity. And he just doesn't have a great deal of speed. That's a frustration with a lot of Lautaro cards. So, can we do much with him? I think we can do a bit. We can certainly take one from shooting, still with the 90 mark. It's a shame that we're one shy of 90 for balance and acceleration, but I think, to be honest, we're going to go the other way with that one. We're going to nick a few off dexterity. I'm going to do the exact same thing we did with Morata. We're going to lose some acceleration, gain a bit of speed. And to be honest, I'll probably just do that. I don't think it's really worth doing much else. Might not seem worth it, but I'm actually going to just nick one from aerial. Still at 80 of head in there. I'm just going to nudge his low pass to 70. I'll probably do that. So, yes, it's a shame we lose a bit of balance and acceleration, but a bit more speed I think does help, and a bit more kicking power as well. I always say that it does help with finishing, with shooting. Nudged his low pass up a little bit. Still got great awareness, finishing at 90. Decent balance. He's always deceptively good in the air, this guy. He's not particularly tall, but even back in the PES days, he always seems to be better than you expect him to be at getting on the end of crosses and scoring headers. He does have the heading skill and acrobatic finishing. And then, of course, he's got first-time shot. He's got long-range shooting, dipping shot. Heel trick's a nice one. Maybe you could put long-range curler on him. Maybe one-touch passing, through passing, improve his passing a bit. Ultimately, I think this is one of those cards where a lot of people really like this guy. And if you're one of those people, you do like him, I think this will be a pretty good version of him. If you've got a good version already, certainly if you've got a Showtime or Legend version, you won't need this one. If you have one of the other versions, you might have one that's as good as this one, in which case you won't need it. But yeah, if he's one who suits you, if you're a fan of Lautaro, it'll be a nice card to have. It's a pretty good version of him, but I just like the goal poachers to have a bit more pace on them. And I always feel like they've done him a bit dirty with the technicals. I always feel like he's a bit more comfortable on the ball than they seem to think he is, But yeah, if he suits you, if you don't mind the fact that as a goal poacher he's not got electric pace, he's still got some pace depending if you tweak the attribute, because obviously he starts on only 79 speed. But depending how you train him, if he works for you, I think it could be a really nice one to have. It just depends if you're one of the people who is a fan of Lautaro, because if you're not, then it's obviously not for you. But for those who like him, it's a pretty good version of him. And we finish up with Di Lorenzo from Napoli. So he's a right back, attacking fullback, another with unwavering form. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this version of Di Lorenzo? Pretty strong, to be honest. We have had a couple of better ones. They both came in either Legend boxes or Showtime boxes. But outside of those two that have been better than him, this is one of the better ones. It's a pretty good version of him. He's kind of got the attacking fullback playing style, or offensive wingback, depending on what you call it. But yeah. He's kind of got the attacking fullback playing style, but built more like a defensive fullback, really, because he's strong defensively, got a good amount of physical contact for a fullback, and he's got the pace and stamina. Not a great deal of bounce, though. He's not brilliant on the ball. So he's kind of built like a defensive fullback in a way. You could obviously put the defensive instruction on him, and then he would obviously play like a defensive fullback. If that's the playing style you prefer as a fullback, you might want to do that. I think he could be pretty effective at that. But again, we've got a fullback who doesn't have interception, so skill-wise, I would definitely give him interception. Maybe his man marking blocker as well. He does already have sliding tackle, fighting spirit's nice. And then going forward, through passing and pinpoint crossing. So 2 good skills going forward. Heading's a nice one. Don't often get that on a fullback. He does have a decent leap on him and decent physical contact as well. So he's already pretty decent in the air for a fullback, about 6 foot tall. So he's better in the air than most fullbacks. And yeah, in terms of the way the points are allocated, to be honest, all I would really do, I mean, firstly, if you are going to use this guy as a defensive fullback, then, I mean, to be honest, I don't know if you'd really change much, actually. There's not many points you could scrimp from elsewhere to make him better defensively. Could nick a couple from speed there. Just throw him on defensive and gets tackling up to 90. nice. You could do that. If you're going to use him that way and just make him, just make him defend, focus on defending primarily, then that might work well for you, especially with that defending instruction on them, defensive instruction. But as an all-rounder, more of an attacking fullback, if you want to make use of his playing style, you could. What could you do? I just want to get those on the ball attributes a bit better, to be honest. So getting up to 80 for ball control and dribbling. We've actually still got 8 points there. Let's beef up his acceleration a bit. And then we've got 2 points still. And those 2 points are going where exactly? Back on defending. Yeah, I would probably do that. So as an attacking fullback, nudging up the ball control and dribbling to 80, I think is nicer. We left his low enough to pass as they are because they're fine and there's only 4 points on them. Defensively, he's over 80 for all those. That's the mark for me. So he's good defensively. He's got good pace. Physically quite strong. A bit more balance on him. I would prefer it to be over 80, but it could be worse. And then the stamina's fantastic at 95. So yeah, he's a solid fullback. It's just the skills, really. The only issue for me is the skills. He needs interception. Maybe he's 1 or 2 beyond that. But apart from that, he does have through passing and pinpoint crossing, which are good going forward. And he's got some pretty good attributes all around. So as an attacking fullback, pretty solid. If you put the defensive instruction on him and use him as a defensive fullback, I think pretty solid that way as well. I think it's a pretty good fullback card. He's got centre-back as well. Could you use him as a centre-back? I've actually trained an old version of Di Lorenzo. I think I've got the very first feature version of him, to be honest. And I trained that one as a centre-back, and it's pretty useful for me. He did a pretty good job for me. So if you tried him as a centre-back, let's just see if you can do that. I'm going to leave his speed acceleration at 80. In fact, 81 speed. So we've got the kicking power at 70. How good can we make him at defending? Not bad. Not bad. Shame we can't quite get the 90s in all of these, but physical, jumping, all these defensives, they're pretty decent. I like them all to be about 90. That's kind of the mark for me, but he's very nice technically for a centre-back. He's got good pace for a centre-back, stamina as well for a centre-back, decent balance, so you could get away with it. If for whatever reason you decide you want to use this guy as a centre-back, that build would probably work. He would not be a top-level centre-back, but he'd be a pretty quick, responsive one. He would need those defensive skills though. Interception, man marking, blocker, aerial superiority. Yeah, you need a bunch of skills. And he might not be amazing as a centre-back, but if you did want to do that for whatever reason, you might want to do that. But certainly as a right-back, pretty solid. Using him defensively with a defensive instruction, or just use him in the way he's supposed to be as an attacking fullback. Could be pretty solid either way. So there have been a couple of bet ones. You might have a bet version of him already, but if you want a good version, you don't have one of those two, then it could be a good one to have. He's certainly a very decent looking fullback. So there you go. There's your Italian league selection. Pretty similar to the English and Spanish ones, to be honest. I don't see too many amazing cards. Certainly the higher rated ones here, when you look at Lautaro, Dybala, Morata, Di Lorenzo, I think these four especially, they're very decent cards. A lot of people probably have a good version of some of these guys already, in which case you might not need them, but I think these packs are aimed primarily at people who haven't been playing the game too long. I think that's the general idea with these packs. If you've not been playing the game long, you've got a bunch of cards which are significant upgrades on the GP versions, so they could be decent value. I've spun a couple of them in the past. There was a Premier League one and a Spanish League one that I spun, and I was very happy with the cards I got. But I think once you've been playing the game a while, most of us are probably at the point where you look at this pack and we just kind of think, well, you know, these cards ain't so great, and these ones are alright, but I've got a decent version of him, and I don't really need him, and got a couple of decent versions of these guys. I don't think they really appeal so much if you've been playing the game for long enough, but certainly for people who haven't been playing the game for that long, or if there's players in here that you really like, for example, you might not have a decent version of Suzuki or Lorenzo Lucca, big target man, is fantastic in the air. There are cards in here with quality. There are some good versions of players, so not a bad pack by any means, but I think for a lot of people it's probably not going to be the most exciting one, but just depends on who you want. And if there are a few cards in there that you want, then it could represent some pretty good value for you. So there you go, that is all three of the league selections reviewed now. The English, Spanish and now Italian selections have all been reviewed, so all three videos now on the channel. Next up will probably be Player of the Week on Thursday. Hopefully we get the Champions League one as well, so hopefully there'll be 2 Player of the Week packs to review on Thursday, so I'll be seeing you for those. At some point this week I might do a stream as well, it depends how things go. I'm crazy busy this week, but so we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you for watching as always, I really appreciate it. Have a great week, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.